Hey guys, we're here today with another video from Auto Assembly. This is recorded, of course, with my standard definition camera, and when we go over to the next part of the video, it is all 720p using Mr. Ben's camera. And Mr. Ben's links will be placed in this video, so you can find his channel as well. And I'll probably throw a Moonbase 2 link as well, because self-promotion and whatnot. This panel, of course, was me and Mr. Ben talking about making YouTube videos. We had some issues with, we were meant to have a projector, it didn't happen, and I'm afraid the sound quality for this actual video isn't what I wanted it to be. I didn't feel it was the best, but I was told just put it out, so I'm gonna just put it out, so there you go. I didn't think, this isn't a complaint with Ben, I don't think I did the best I could. I haven't watched most of this video because I feel kind of ashamed of what I did or the lack of work I put into it. It's more embarrassment over I feel I could have done a lot more. I feel I could have done a lot better, but I don't know, it was my first time doing a panel, so I wasn't really sure what to expect, I guess. And I didn't, I had all these ideas going off while I was talking. Oh, it would have been so good if I had a laptop there, which I don't have because I can't afford one. And if I could have literally been showing people how I do my editing, for instance, and what I think, personal opinion, what I think makes a clip too long and needs to be cut, and how I decide whereabouts I cut a clip and splice it together and stuff, and how I decide to do that stuff. But yeah, I wasn't too happy with how I did for the panel. Ben did fine. Ben's a good man. He's extremely polite. Go check out his channel because he's a lovely man. No, I just feel disappointed in myself more than anything else. I think I could have done a lot better, but that might just be me. People said that we did a good job, but I didn't believe them because that's not how it works with Andy. There wasn't a huge amount of people in there. We had probably a max of 15 people, maybe less. I don't know, I forgot to count, so yeah, that's enough of me waffling and going for the self-pity angle, which I'm not trying to do. I'm not trying to get anybody to say, oh no, Andy, you were great, blah, blah, blah. If you think that, then great. Please leave comments in this video, or video responses, or whatever, on your thoughts on what we can do to improve it, if we're able to do it next year, of course. And if you enjoyed it, that would be nice. I'd like to know if what we did was at all helpful for you people. I don't know. So enough of the waffling. Let's get on to the panel. So here we go. Remember, the sound quality is not the best, and the video quality I would say is probably not the best either. But yeah, we could only do so much. The camera I was going to use to record was Dave's and was set up on the table, but it didn't record for whatever reason. So I was like, so anyway, here we go. Panel time. Wait, hey everybody, welcome to the first YouTube workshop thingy. Hey! Boo! Boo, you man. I'm Andy, corporate commander TFW of YouTube and of the Moonbase 2 podcast, and of course I'm joined by Mr. Ben. Yes, I called him that because that's not his YouTube name. What's your YouTube name, Ben?
Benscollectables or Transformer Megazord?
Yes, very Transformers related.
Yes.
Name, well, same for me, I suppose.
But Mr Ben's fine.
Yeah. Do you all know Mr. Ben?
Yeah. No, literally most of them, because I'm related to most of them. But
like how many of them?
Most of Suffolk, probably.
Wow, okay, wow. That's a pretty good family.
It is Suffolk. Give me 6!
I suppose the first thing we may as well get around to doing is I'll ask you the question because I think that's what we're going to do. How did you get onto YouTube? What made you decide, hey, I want to talk about Transformers in front of the camera and make myself look like a fool every day?
I just had toys. I enjoyed toys. I had Braves at the time and some Megazords. And I saw other people doing it, like you guys, you did it a lot longer than me.
Oh, well, yeah.
I thought, well, why not get my opinion out there? I know people do it in different formats. People will sit there and they'll do a detailed written review or a pictorial. And I started off with kind of slideshows to begin with.
Oh, right, yeah.
The Braves and the Megazords. And I thought, oh no, I'll get my opinion out there. I'll let people know what I think. It wasn't always what people agreed with, but that's at the end of the day, that's the benefits of YouTube, isn't it? You get your name out there, you get your opinion out there. People don't have to agree with you because it's an opinion. Toy's a toy, and
that's one of the important things, I suppose, everyone who does YouTube needs to take away. It's your opinion that you're putting out there. Obviously, it's not what you think the people want to hear. It's, do you like this toy, and can you explain successfully why it's good or why it's bad, and what points that you like about it, or if it's worth 40 quid or if it's worth 10 quid, that kind of thing. Do you agree with that?
yes, no, I do absolutely. 'Cause what might be worth £40 to me, somebody might say, "Oh, that's horrific. Come, shame on you for being late."
Shame.
We'll see you after. What seems like a £40 toy, you say, "Oh, brilliant, that's great," but somebody else might think, "Well, that's a rip-off." I recently had that the armour for the Fall of Cybertron figure. I managed to get hold of that from Transmazing. Some people said that is absolutely terrible. That's a complete waste of money. Whereas I had it in my hand and I thought, I know you guys, you didn't like it.
No, it wasn't for me.
No, but I really liked it. But then there was a huge argument on the internet about it shouldn't be sold with the trailer. The trailer's a complete waste of time just to sell the armour. I really liked the trailer. I thought it was fun, and I thought it was nice to have something to display with them, so everything did something. But as it is now, they've now stopped the trailer section and they're just releasing the armour and they've dropped the price. But my opinion wasn't that of everybody else's apparently. But it doesn't matter, does it? Unless at the end of the day, they're out there to make the sales, aren't they?
Exactly, yeah. And you buy it if you like it, or you buy it if you don't. And I mean, you guys, don't laugh, it's what you do. So I suppose, what do you use then for your recording, and what's the setup, I suppose, for everything that you do at home?
See, I'm not overly professional. I know people will spend a good amount of money on these cameras, but nowadays you've got cameras in iPhones, iPads, iPods, Android, Sony's, everything has a camera in it. I mean, at the moment I've got most of my filming on the iPhone. I've got a program on there called Filmic Pro. It costs about $3.99, but you can adjust your white balance, you can then record your sound as a separate track. You can do loads. I've got iMovie on there. It's a very easy, very simplistic way of editing your movies. I've recently started using my wife's iPad mini. Again, that's got Filmic Pro on that, and you can use your phone as a remote. So you don't have to be near the toy itself. You can, without touching the tripod, you can focus in, you can zoom. And I've also got a wireless mic set up now as well.
Yes,
so it's using a receiver and a transmitter that we can get decent audio.
Yeah.
Because I was recording my audios as a separate track because the phones are good, but they don't pick up audio brilliantly. Whereas some people have great mics. I'm sure you'll talk about that.
Yeah, good old Yeti there.
Yeah. But it just seems when I'm using, I've got a PAL mic and recording the audio together with the video, it cuts down on the editing time as well, and people have been leaving really positive feedback, so they've liked it. So,
yeah.
So what equipment do you use?
What do I use? I use, I suppose, quite an old camera at this point. It's a SD, if anyone's interested, Sony DCR SR36, which was quite good before HD came around. Now it's unfortunately very old for its time. It's not the best thing you can have around, but the important thing everyone should again take away from this, that even if you have the best camera in the world, if you don't have good lighting, it's going to ruin the quality of your image.
Absolutely.
If you get the setup for your lightings done, it's crazy how much that can improve the quality of the video. What I have just 3 fairly cheap lamps, 2 focusing on the figure from kind of crossways, and then 1 final one on the background just to help the figure get pulled out of the background and to help you show it. Recently I've been using Mr David Wallace, Mr Kal-El Prime, who you're probably aware of. You saw him up on stage. and I'm using his camera at the moment right on there. That's HD, and when I made the switch over, it was amazing. I really noticed the difference. And like Ben said, you record using a separate device.
Yeah.
Microphones on cameras are awful. They're terrible, terrible things. You can buy extensions and stuff, but I found it just easier for myself on editing. And because I do a podcast as well, I bought a Yeti microphone from America. Very good quality I wouldn't say it's professional, but it's semi-professional to a point. It's got really good audio quality, and you can do a lot with it for not too much. I think it's like $60 when I got it on sale. So I do all my audio recording separately because I find talking and doing the recording, if I make a mistake, and it's like 20 minutes of me talking could be completely wasted. So the Yeti microphone is a big help to me. That's pretty much all the equipment I use. The only other stuff I've really got is obviously the video editing software, which you talked about. And I use Adobe Premiere CS 5.5, which isn't the newest version, but it's the one I'm used to. It's professional level editing software. Really good, get in there, and very complicated to first get your hands around, but once you do, you can just have fun. You don't need any of this stuff. The thing you need, most of all, is enthusiasm. You need to enjoy what you're doing. Don't do it to become YouTube famous or make YouTube money. Do it because you love talking about a toy, or you find, like I do, the process of doing the videos just so much fun. I love doing that stuff. I don't like filming, especially in this weather, because, woo, it's a little bit warm. It's a little bit warm today, I'll be honest. Yeah, do people here do any YouTube videos? Matt, you do. What stopped you from continuing to do it?
Because I'm still trying to work out how to use Windows Media without crashing.
Yeah, unfortunately, Windows Movie Maker has a lot of issues to it. It's not the best.
Software side.
It's okay for just kind of getting into it, but if you could get something like Sony Vegas or one of the other programs, it'll just help a lot more because it won't crash quite as much, if at all.
Yeah, I used to try and use Windows Movie Maker, and
I started off with that actually.
it was just so much quicker for me to just edit everything on my phone, because by the time Windows actually started working, it would then crash and I'd lose everything, and it was a nightmare. It's a shame because in theory, Movie Maker is such a simplistic idea. Drag, drop, publish. But yeah, it doesn't work. Not at all. No.
And you said you do YouTube videos as well.
Yeah, I use iMovie 08 because it was free.
Right.
But again, it's got a lot of software issues with it. You've got sound sort of drift, trying to disconnect it from the video.
Right.
In fact, one of my friends just called me after watching the last video and said, "Okay, that's it. Come and find me out. I am giving you Adobe."
Right. Yeah, Adobe. Which version is it? Is it?
No idea, but
Adobe will help out a lot if you start with it. You can go either the Adobe After Effects route, which is much more I like special effects and like throwing giant flames and explosions and laser blasts everywhere. Or you can go down the just Premiere Pro route and just do the editing. That's what I do there. And when I want to do special effects, I do it in the After Effects.
Yeah.
Do you do special effects, Mr. Ben? Have you dipped your finger into there at all?
No. There's an app for that, though. There's an app. No, I haven't. I don't think it's my cup of tea. I'm enjoying what I'm doing at the moment, and it's
good.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not raking in millions.
Aren't you?
No.
Yes,
Believe me, my wife is at the back. I'm not raking in
No,
millions.
not at all. Do you cry every time a new box comes in?
Was it free or did you pay for it? Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of the time it's probably paid for it, right?
Yes. But don't get me wrong. There is money to be made in YouTube, but it's the guys that are making the money. They're on 50, 60 plus thousand subscribers, and we are but small fish.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing it for the money. At the end of the day, there wasn't money when a lot of us started, and it's fun. it's fun, and especially now, I mean, people are doing things like Matt has suggested, we're talking to each other and using YouTube as a medium, so you can chat to each other. I know it's not. I know this is about reviews, isn't it? But
Yeah, pretty much. We can talk about it. It's our panel.
I've got an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Nobody's even paying any attention anymore.
I'm dozing off.
Oh man, thank you for that.
Like me in your videos. People are chatting to each other on YouTube now. They're playing off each other. And it's a good community, especially the UK community at the moment. It's a good time to get on board, I think.
I agree. Yeah.
Just don't put me out of a job. You know?
And of course, it's like you say, it's great for just interacting with people with someone you've never seen before. You can talk with them across YouTube for a bit. You can see what they look like, and then you walk past them at the auto assembly. You go, I know you. You're Mr Ben, aren't you? From Ben's Collectables, yes.
Yes.
And you're one of those YouTube people, I think, aren't you?
Yes.
As I walk away from you because I don't like you anymore. But yeah, how many of you have met people you know through YouTube just at this convention alone? A couple of people, one or two, okay. I've met a lot of my friends across YouTube and stuff, and that's kind of why Auto Assembly has become such a kind of special convention for me, because of what I did on YouTube, just meeting the people and getting to know them and then seeing them in person. It's always good, isn't it, Matt?
It's absolutely fine, Matthew, yes.
Yeah,
Is your name Matthew?
it's close enough. To
Oh,
that,
okay.
Why did you start? So I've never actually asked you.
Really?
So why did you start doing? Obviously, I started watching you guys,
Yeah.
and it kind of inspired me to get involved. But I mean, you guys started what, 4 or 5 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
Why?
I started off around Christmas time, just after the premiere of Transformers Animated had been shown. Or at least that's when I became aware of YouTube. I knew what YouTube was, but I had no interest in it. Then I heard about Transformers Animated, and I was like, oh, Transformers Animated, that sounds really awesome. It looks way better than Cybertron or Galaxy Force. It looks like the last thing that really excited me so much was, since before then, was the Unicron from Armada. That was what got me back into Transformers, and then it was kind of like just floating along going, yeah, this is alright, but it's not great. Then I saw Animated, and that kind of really drove me in. I watched Mr. Dave's, Cal O'Brien's video talking about it, I think on Christmas Eve, or New Year's Eve or something like that, and I was like, it was Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
Okay, I thought, hey, that guy is talking about Transformers, he seems pretty cool. And then he mentioned a couple of times that he was from Newcastle. I was like, I'm from Newcastle, sort of. I did a couple of videos just because I was like, it looks so much fun just to sit in front of the camera. And again, it's interacting with people who don't live anywhere near me. Well, obviously Mr. Dave, I found out did live near me, but until then, there was no one around. And it was just interesting to hear other people's takes on Transformers rather than, you collect toys, what's that about? So that's pretty much where how I got started doing it. It was just watching Dave and then watching a couple of other people and just getting drawn in, like a lot of people do. I think a lot of people see this stuff and see how much fun you have doing it. They're like, I wouldn't mind giving that a go. I wouldn't mind trying to get in on the fun,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Everybody has an opinion, and you know, it's your right to have an opinion.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And I think some people will go in and they'll say that is an amazing toy. I really like the bot shops, and there's a whole thing here
Yes.
for the bot shops, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't like the bot shop. I don't get them, but some toys aren't everybody's cup of tea like that. You know? Like me and my braids. Some people are like, why on earth do you even have braids?
Because they're awesome.
Exactly.
Except Paul, who got rid of all of them. Like dirt cheap.
Shame.
Oh, bad times. What else is there I suppose we can talk about? I think there are a couple of other bits we can cover here and there.
We did have like a really, really super professional
Oh yes, we promised.
slideshow.
It was really good.
I mean, I've seen the Canadians do theirs, and
Oh,
they
yes.
was like, ours was much more professional.
Yes.
But it just doesn't work, does it?
Yeah, I did have a video that was just going to show where I was 5 years ago with my camera, which was just like a web camera. So kind of where I am now, just to show how my equipment and picture quality and just my styles changed over the past 5 or more years, I suppose. I guess it's actually probably 6 years, because I came with Dave through my first auto assembly 6 years ago. So yeah, wow, 6 to 7 years on YouTube.
Yeah. I think basically for the masses, if you ever see the evolution of how a guy does his work, go onto his YouTube channel, watch the very first video they've ever done. Because I've done it with this guy, oh my god, what's that little 15-year-old boy doing with monkeys? And then watch their current one. It is absolutely astounding how not only the video quality, but the mannerisms of the person behind the videos as well. Because they change along with videos.
Yeah, that's the whole. That's the great part about having subscribers and people comment, because you can really feed off what they were saying. Like, I thought people were happy with me to voice over my reviews as a separate audio track.
Yeah.
But it turns out doing something with the audio record at the same time, they preferred that. I wouldn't have known that if I didn't have the comments. And people, you can pick up a lot from what people say, can't you?
Sometimes you don't get constructive feedback.
Yes.
Sometimes you just get, I guess hecklers like Matt in the audience here throwing insults at you for no reason.
Have you put on weight?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
And like if you're starting up on YouTube, don't worry about. I'd say the first year is kind of like your testing ground.
Yeah.
You building up confidence, because it's you say all you gotta do is sit in front of the camera and talk. That takes quite a lot of confidence, because the first time anyone ever does it, you're like, this is weird. How can I talk to an inanimate object unless you're an incredibly odd person? And that man over there. So if you're nervous and thinking I'm not doing a good job compared to him or her, don't worry. Just it's all about just gaining that confidence, getting comfortable with yourself, and just finding your style. And don't worry about stealing somebody's style, because it's really about your opinion. If you film in a certain way, that's just how you think it looks best. I wouldn't ever like some people have said, oh, I'm a knockoff evangelist because I have sweeping shots, but it's because I like to get close into the toy and I like to have a bit of motion to the videos. I could just put a still shot, but I don't find still images too effective. Like going from a moving picture to a static image of the toy and then maybe panning up and down, I find it much more interesting to keep that camera moving, having a nice flow with it.
Yeah.
Should we talk about how we edit, I suppose?
Yes.
How do you edit, Ben? Because obviously you've got your phone program. And,
Yeah, literally all I've got on the phone is iMovie. I've got it on the iPad as well, and it's really simple. You film when you're using Filmic to record. You have to save your file onto your iPad or iPhone. Then you have to transfer it separately onto your camera roll, and you can just drag it into your iMovie. I don't tend to edit that much. I don't like to cut out things. I know some people, if we were discussing earlier on about people breaking things on the review. At the end of the day, if the figure's going to break, I don't really want to cut that out of the video, because I'd rather people learn from my mistakes. If I'm useless, I can't apply stickers, I'm super heavy-handed with things, and generally, if it doesn't break on camera, you can buy it, because if I haven't broken it, then chances are it won't break. But I don't know, I don't tend to cut too much out. It was a lot harder when I was doing what you do with your audio.
Yeah.
Because it's your syncing and getting everything, especially with your sweeping. No, I couldn't do that, no. It's easy. Everybody's got to go, literally, stick it on there, drag it in, easy peasy, publish. And I've got an intro designer on there as well.
Yeah.
So you have to give everybody credit on YouTube, otherwise they'll take your videos down. So it's all in the field. If you're using anybody else's music, just chances are your video won't get taken down, just as long as you credit who the music's come from. So I know some people like to put, I don't know, a few songs or something on there in the background, and go for it, just credit everybody. That's pretty much all I do
For your editing
yeah,
process.
sometimes I'll adjust the contrast, just dependent, because
How long do you actually film for? How long is the filming process for you?
obviously depending
On a general, like for a deluxe figure, like I say, or a deluxe toy, you usually average out to about how long for filming?
interruptions pending. Dogs barking, chickens in the back garden going, or
Wow. Madhouse and Ben's house, I guess.
It can take anywhere between half an hour and an hour
Yeah.
for filming. And I'm only getting, my reviews aren't long, they're between 6 and some of the ones for the Go combiners.
Yeah, but take a bit longer.
Yeah.
There's more to show.
There's a lot more to do, but average between 6 and 20 minutes, and obviously the longer I'm filming for it, it's because I did transformations. When I'm incorporating transformations, I'm constantly got my head in the instruction manual. But I think between half an hour and an hour, then probably about 20 to 30 minutes of editing.
Right.
So it's pretty brisk.
Yeah.
And then about 6 days uploading with Sky.
You weren't around when YouTube first popped up, when you didn't even know sometimes if the YouTube video would appear. Nowadays, you have a bar, it tells you how long it's going to take to come onto the channel. Back in the day, you just kind of put it up, it had the twirly thing, and you went, I guess I'll go to bed and maybe it'll be up. And you come down the next morning and it's like, oh gosh, sorry, the internet wasn't very good. Those were bad times.
Was splitting your video into parts if you were a partner.
Yes, back then what you had to do was you could only have 10 minutes unless you were a partner, and that made, at least my videos back in the day, because they were usually about 20 minutes long, that made them very difficult to do. Now, for my filming, it usually takes an hour to an hour and a half of just constant filming in a very dark room with three very bright hot lamps. It's a very warm experience. I don't know
You get close to those lamps as well, don't you?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've only got desk lamps.
That's all you need, by the way. £5 or so.
Yeah. How much are they? Desk lamps?
I think about 3 quid from IKEA.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
right,
good.
yeah.
But they're stonkingly warm. You're getting close to that toy.
Yeah.
They are really warm. Be careful, you can burn yourself.
I have a couple of times had some hair go just ripped away from me just because it's so hot. So it's about an hour to an hour and a half of editing, and then after that it's filming, and then after that it's again probably 30 to 40 minutes of just the video editing, and then maybe about 10 to 20 minutes of audio recording, and then splicing that into the video, and then obviously however long it takes to upload the stuff. So for me it's a lot longer process because I like to see what I can do to cut out. I get the guff and just go, that isn't needed, and just tightening up as much as I can, just shortening it down and making it flow nicely so there's not like a sudden and then can kind of continue. Like if I'm taking a toy off the screen, for instance, I could cut it straight away or leave it a little bit too long, and it's just, you just get a feeling of what you feel works, and if it flows, sometimes it will flow well, sometimes it won't, depending on the tempo of your video, how fast you feel it's moving and stuff. So it's again all experience.
Do you script?
No, I tried scripting, but then I found that it sounded like I was reading too much off of the script. What I do now is I just kind of put notes down, I put the main key points I want to cover, and just kind of go from there and see if I can expand.
My notes consist of how to pronounce this. This is Japanese.
Yes. Yeah.
This is pronounced.
I don't know about you, but I've had a couple of people on YouTube tell me you're not pronouncing it correctly, or it's this way to pronounce something. It's like, oh, come on.
I'm sorry, I'm from Suffolk. That's how it's going to be pronounced.
I'm reading this at 1 in the morning. I just want to get it done. I'm sorry, it's not great. Should we open the floor to questions? Unless
No.
yeah, are there any questions in the audience? As I look very panicked over some of them. Yes.
That's a question.
Okay, so I know that you are now working with a couple of different companies and reviewing for them.
Yes.
So you want to do a bit of
That's a bit of both. At the end of the day, if you don't pimp yourself out there, then nobody's going to know. I mean, I made a point of going to bots in the Netherlands just to meet people because they're fans of the franchise and they like Transformers too. I just went out there and put my name out, and I just got speaking to a few people, and yeah, it's at the end of the day, they're getting their name out as well.
And then he went to another convention where he was a special guest and signed toys for people.
That was a little bit.
What was the toy that you had to sign again?
No, I had posters and that. People
posters?
Yeah, posters and that. People
Posters of you?
No.
Yeah.
What?
Very good call.
And the follow-on question,
Yes.
have any company ever had someone with an absolute piece of shit and asked you to repair it?
No, because they know that I will say this is an absolute. There are some reviewers out there that won't give. At the end of the day, I try and get on with everybody on there on YouTube because at the end of the day we're all in the same boat. You don't like the toys, whether our partners like us to like the toys or not. But it's. People say to me, "You're very positive with your reviews," and that's because I don't buy stuff I don't like. I'm not going to go to a shop and pay 50 quid for something just to bring it back and slate it. I like the Bumblebee figures. I like the new. I'm not a fan of Bumblebee, but I like the new IDW Bumblebee.
Yeah.
I think it's a good figure. People were saying, "Oh, it's got hollow chests." Yeah, but it's a £12 toy. You know, I was happy to go and spend £12. If there was something there that I walked in and thought, I'm not going to. That looks awful, and I'm not going to buy it. So I haven't bought anything, or haven't been in contact with anybody, haven't sent anything that because they know that I'm going to be brutally honest. If it's a bad toy, it's a
bad toy.
Bad toy.
Don't feel that you should be pressured into giving toys a good review just because somebody's sending it to you, because that's a wrong message to send to people. If you're telling someone to buy an awful toy, and they buy an awful toy, it's not going to reflect well on you.
No.
I would say if you can justify your opinions and say why you think it's good, you can definitely tell when people are just like, I think it's a great toy, but don't actually have a reason for it. They're just saying it's good because they want to.
This is good.
Yeah, it's great. It's a very fantastic toy with no issues at all. I promise.
As it crumbles in your hand.
Yeah. See, I wouldn't be so positive on the IDW Bumblebee. There's some issues. There's just something about the feel of that Bumblebee that didn't do it for me. I played with Dave's, and it did have a few paint apps actually missing from the toy, like on his knees and
Well,
stuff.
I've heard that.
Yeah, it's a weird quality control issue that
What's
they have.
the comic?
It was the English version.
Because I don't know if that's something that a lot of people I've spoken to have the comic carded ones, and they haven't had any issues. But the ones you're getting in retail without the comics, they've got mispainted feet. They've got the lights at the back are missing, and surely they just stuck a comic on the back.
Would have thought so. So again, that's something again to point out in YouTube videos. If there are paint apps missing, if you notice, of course, if you don't.
Yeah.
If they're dire or if they're just like, oh, it's just how you can look out for them. Some of them you can't look out for. I was given, back in the day, I was given a Classics side swipe. I got it out of the packaging and was like, side swipe. I transformed it and went, so where's the head? As the head was not on the toy, it obviously just wasn't put on in the factory. I was blown, my mind was blown. I was like, why? There's no way I could have known. No way that my friend who got it for me could have known. It's one of those bizarre things.
It does happen, doesn't it? It happens with
It does.
them all at the end of the day. They're toys, aren't they? And
Yeah.
They try and get everything through quality control, but
Accidents
but they
happen.
say they do. I think Hasbro have their own.
If you're giving someone sort of quite a day to put something together, they might.
Yeah, maybe. Are there any other questions in the audience at all? Oh, okay, Mr. Chris.
You said before about, when you talk to your mic, you need to have a certain amount of confidence to be able to do it.
Yes.
Would you say that doing these things has given you confidence to do other things?
It's definitely helped out. Yeah, I will agree that it's helped me be. I'm not the most social of butterflies, but
I disagree with that.
I do find it a little bit easier now just to have a bit more fun with my friends and express myself a lot more than I used to be able to. I think I was a bit more in my younger days, because I'm a very old man now, as you all know. Old man, I was a lot more introvert, I suppose. I wasn't quite as outgoing as I am now. I suppose with my friends, I didn't say the very horrible things I do now to the people I care about. The people laughing, of course, are the people that I say the horrible things to. Hi, Tricky. Would you say your attitude or your personality
Yeah, I mean,
has changed a bit at all? since
Definitely,
you've been
definitely. I mean, since when I was a kid, I always preferred to play on my own. I didn't really like to. That's because people played different. They were wrong. They made the wrong noises for the toys and the GI Joes they had. That is not how that gun sounds.
I've got to ask, do you do that with your son?
Yes.
Do you tell him?
Going on.
No, sorry, that's not how this gun sounds. It's more of a pew pew. Oh no, sorry, it was pew pew that you did.
Yes, I didn't like pew pew. That's a shotgun. That does not go pew pew. That gun goes pew pew. But I mean, last year I came here. It's my first year, well, it's only last year, and I was like a rabbit in headlights. I really was. I was terrified, and I kept myself to myself. I mean, it didn't help. My wife didn't have a pass last. She had the family pass as opposed to coming in. So me and Sammy were just in awe, and everybody knew everybody. And, I mean, I brought Sean and Lee with us last year. But, woo!
Love you, Ben.
It's always one, isn't it? And yeah, but since doing them, I think I'm more. I hated getting in front of the camera.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was alright. I used to do a lot of drama.
Yeah.
I was a lead role in a few plays.
Oh, I was the judge. I had a big wig.
There we go. But that was different. But now I just feel a lot more confident getting in front of people. Like this year, I decided to volunteer as well. Just you say hello to people and be polite.
Yeah.
And, I think it definitely helps. I don't know if any of you haven't watched Monkey's videos on YouTube.
Yep. Very good.
Yeah, he's talking to people, he's telling them how to get themselves in front of the camera, because he was nervous as anything to get in front of the camera. And just simple tips like putting a mirror behind the camera and talk to the mirror, and just to build up your confidence. He said, don't even turn the camera on. You don't need the camera on to begin with. Just so you're building up that confidence. And then once you've switched that camera on, what's the difference? What is the difference with? Yeah, I just think it really can build up confidence.
It's a really smart idea, actually. I really thought when I was thought, I was like, it's such a smart
That's
idea.
really good.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely helped, and that along with the whole great network that we've got at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is spanning from YouTube. You've got all the forums, you've got TFW, Cybertron, Nerdsphere. What else have we got? Full Metal Hero.
Movie-based podcasts.
That would be the place. You can also find us in the forums. You can also find us on Full Metal Hero, which you can then bypass to the Nerdsphere network. That is the Nerdsphere.
I'm sure all of this will be on YouTube underneath.
I'm sure, yeah. Shall we have one more question, perhaps, and wrap up? If there are any, of course. Are there any other questions that anyone wants to ask? Interesting?
Yes, lady at the back.
How do you deal with people who aren't very nice to you? So, you know, if you get somebody who's constantly, there's constructive criticism, and then there's just people who are just horrible. I mean, you hear like cyberbullying. How do you deal with that? Because I know that you do get it, and you get some awful comments.
Yeah. I think you just got to take it on the chin. At the end of the day, when I had 100 subscribers, I'd have one hater. When I went up to 1,000 subscribers, you're instantly going to assume you've got 10 haters. When I hit 100,000,
well, you're confident,
you're gonna have people just like there's some nasty people on the internet. They really are, and I don't stand for it. At the end of the day, if somebody's going to sit there slating me, then I'm more than happy to walk up to them and let them slate them in my face. But they won't do that, will they? They won't. There's a lot of bullies on the internet. If they're going to come out with something constructive, like, for example, I had a comment recently, there was problems with my sound.
That was me. I cyberbullied Ben.
No, I wasn't aware of it. I've gone through the editing process, and whilst uploading it to YouTube, the sound file had been corrupted. So I weren't aware of that. I took the video down, re-uploaded. Jobs are good.
Yep.
But some people are just nasty. Like I don't know what somebody said to me. Like you sound like a complete.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I don't like the way you speak.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Shall I put on an American accent for you?
Yes.
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 Again, it's Suffolk. Suffolk.
Could I chip in for 2 secs with this?
Of course you can.
A lot of people that give you these sort of comments are usually attention seeking themselves. The worst thing you can ever do to them is ignore them. So if you ignore them, there's nothing else to it. You just, like Ben said, you just take it on the chin. If they get too malicious with it, block them. It's that simple. Don't ever have, you never have to bring them low yourself down to respond to them, because that's the attention they really seek for.
You'll get it as well. Most of the time you'll notice that comments are flagged as spam. I haven't flagged anybody's comments as spam. That is other people thinking they're just and they're flagging it. People don't like it. You're always going to get haters, aren't you?
Yeah, it's just
Haters
it's
will hate.
the way of the internet. That's just how it works, unfortunately.
But don't ever be put off by it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a lot more people like your videos than you are dislike your videos.
And you'll make friends as well, and that's the important thing.
Absolutely.
And I think that's probably a good place to close it, I suppose. Yes?
I hope this has been somewhat informative
Or entertaining.
and very professional.
Oh, of course. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Yeah, and
Thank you.
enjoy auto assembly. Remember to check out Ben's channel, which is...
Transformer Megazord. But just Google Ben's Collectables and I come up.
And
Andy, what is yours?
I'm Cobra Commander TFW, and again on YouTube, and do the Moonbase 2 podcast.
Yeah. If any of you want to do a response to this on YouTube, we're going to put your first video up on YouTube, then this will be on Andy's channel, I imagine, won't it?
It should be.
It should be. Go to the comments section, and you can just put, rather than clicking respond, do video response, and you can just link your video to it, and we're aware of who's responding to what, and it comes up. Okay?
Cool.
Thank you everybody for coming.